Everyone, welcome to practice. This is Stephen, and welcome to this hip mobility flow. In just 10 minutes or so, we'll be doing the whole circumference of the hips with some of my favorite current movements. We'll be low to the ground in a side lying position, and I'll be talking you through it. Let's start on our right side. So lie down. If you want, you can make a pillow for your head with the bottom arm, with the right arm in this case. And just rest down, make sure your hips are stacked above one another. And then all we're going to do to start with is lift the top leg. Try not to roll that hip forward or back and lower it down. We'll just do that 10 times. You don't have to go super high because if you try to go much higher, you'll start to make compensations by moving the pelvis and moving the spine. You'll notice if you want to go super high, your spine is going to want to go into a back bend or compensate in any other way, a side bend actually, that's more correct. Nice, I forgot to count with all of this, so let's do another 3, 2, and the last 1. Well done. Now bend your knees about 90 degrees so that your feet are in line with the hips, your knees a little bit forward. I'm going to keep the feet together and just lift the top knee up away from the bottom knee and then lower back down. The first time you do this, or the first couple of times, you won't feel very much at all. But if you do it correctly, you're going to start to feel one particular group of muscles here in the outer hip on the left that is working quite hard. That's your external rotators and abductors. So that's the muscle group we're working on. Try not to roll this top hip back. You can even pin it down with this top hand just to check that it's not moving. And also try not to move this hip forward or away from the bottom hip. Nice, last 3, 2, and 1. Nice, so keep your bottom leg the same. Just stretch that top leg out and come onto your right hand. Nice. We do 5 with the bottom knee down. So all we're going to do is lift the hips up and lower back down, but try to be as soft as possible on this bottom knee. Try to do most of the work with that left inner thigh that's going to lift you up. Nice. So the straight leg, let it do most of the work. Nice. We've got 2 more here. And last one, lift up. Nice. If this is hard enough as it is, just stay there. If you're in for a bit more challenge, then lift the whole bottom leg up and set it back down. So now that inner thigh is really going to have to work hard along with your right side body here, the side core, your obliques. That's last 2. And last 1. I know, right? This one really gets in there. Nice. We're going to come into side lying again. Keep the bottom leg more in the same position as it was, about 90 degrees, other leg can be straight. And then all we're going to do is externally rotate so that knee stays down and the right foot lifts up. Nice. Let's go for about 10 here. And then try to not be in a hurry. We're not pushing out a number of reps. We're trying to really be mindful of what's going on in our body at the moment. Which muscles are working, which movements are we targeting. They're all quite small movements that really target one specific set of muscles. Nice. Last 3. Last 2. Just stop wherever. Try not to compensate to go any higher. That's not the point here. And last 1. Good. Now place the feet and the knees on top of each other. We're going to keep the knees together and rotate this bottom foot up. So that's internal rotation for the top leg. I almost lost my microphone. Good. Keep going. We're doing about 10 of these as well. Now here, the danger, danger, you're not in real danger, but the compensation is often at the top hip. It likes to roll forward and away from that bottom hip. So if you want, you can keep it in place. And even if your foot doesn't go that high, but you keep good alignment in the rest of the body, then that's preferable, I would say. Try not to go into a side bend as well with this top waist. Keep it long. Keep the breath soft, even though There's quite a bit of focus sometimes that goes into these little movements. Last 2, and last 1. Good. Let's go straight to the other side. Lie down on your left side. Go in more or less straight line as best as you can. Right hip on top of left hip. And we're starting with our leg lifts to the side. Nice. Keep it simple. Notice which muscles are working. And try not to compensate. Don't roll back. Don't roll forward. Don't go into a side bend with your spine. And just notice, are your shoulders involved? Is your neck involved? Does the breath stop because you're focusing so hard? What is happening? Does that bottom leg push really hard into the mat to give more grounding? Just notice, it's an experiment. Last 3, last 2, and 1. You'll notice that leg is really heavy by number 10, which is good. Bend the knees 90 degrees, so your hips are still in the same place, and then your feet are more or less in the same line. And we're doing this clamshell, so the feet stay together, and the top knee is gonna lift. Nice. And then you can always have your top hand on the top hip, just to make sure it doesn't roll way back. The body has a lot of strategies to get stuff done, which is a good thing, except when you're trying to target a specific muscle group, then we try to avoid those sometimes unconscious compensations. Couple more. Ooh, this side is really, my leg feels like it weighs 1 ton on the side. Last 2, and last 1. Nice. Just stretch that top leg out, come onto your left hand. And remember this one, we're doing lifts 5 with the left knee down. If you can, 5 with the left knee up. So start with the back knee or the left knee down. Just go sideways, straight up, and straight down. Try to let the right leg do most of the work, even though you still have some support now from that bottom knee. 4, and this is 5. Now, if you want a little challenge, lift the whole bottom knee up and let that right inner thigh work a little bit harder. This is great to lengthen and strengthen your adductors, the strong muscles, and the inner thighs. This is 3. Let's do 2 more. 2. And last 1. Nicely done. Set it down. Right leg stay straight. Left knee bend 90 degrees. You want the knee in front of that hip. And then you can rest your head wherever it's comfortable. We're keeping the whole thigh down, including the knee, and just rotating that left foot up. This is external rotation in the left hip. As we're doing 10 of these, try to quite smooth, controlled movements. When you stop, then you stop. So don't yank the leg up and go as high as possible in one go. Just go controlled, smoothly to the top. Even if you don't go that high, it's better to control the entire range of motion that you do have, rather than cheating by using a lot of momentum and not really having control. Last 3. Sometimes I talk so much that I forget to count. So 2, might be doing 12 or something, or 9. And last 1. The knees on top of each other. The knees are going to stay glued together. The hips are not going to move. Only that right lower leg is coming off the left lower leg. That's it. Internal rotation in the top hip. 2, doing 10. Maybe hand on the top hip because it likes to roll forward. You'll notice that, especially if you're trying to go too high. Try to get away from the sort of always maximizing your range. It's not a bad thing to maximize the range, but if it comes from your hip, then we're no longer doing what we intended to do. Actually, this comes from the hip, but I mean if it comes from the pelvis moving around and the spine moving around. Last 3. Keep those knees glued together. 2. And last 1. Good. Slowly come up take a seat however you want. Just feel how those hips are feeling. Do you have a bit more space? Do you sit more comfortably? Can you move around with ease? That's the function of the hips. So I hope you enjoyed this little 10-minute quick mobility workout for the hips. Let me know how it went, and I'll see you here again soon. Thanks a lot, everyone.